Good morning, everybody. Good to see ya. I am Lisa. If you're new to this channel, this is Living Life with Lisa. And we talk about living life to the fullest with a chronic illness and any kind of diagnosis we get that is not so good. So, I personally have been diagnosed with MTHFR, which is gene mutation that causes all kinds of problems. And I also recently, as tomorrow, 3 weeks ago, was diagnosed with early onset dementia, which comes with a whole boatload of problems themselves, not so much with the dementia, but with society. And today I am on my way to a meeting with a lady that works with the Alzheimer's Dementia Society of Northern Indiana, not connected with the Alzheimer's Association at all. They're strictly their own thing. And you're going to hear the GPS telling me how to get there. So, sorry about that, but I have to have my GPS tell me how to get there. Looks like I needed to spend a little bit more time on my hair. Anyhow, so I'm going to go up there. Shoot, I forgot my water. I'm going to go up there and talk to them and see. They don't have support groups. They have activities for the people with dementia, so that the caregivers can have their support group. I'm frustrated is one of the words I'd like to use. And I know it's not just here, because in the group where I'm an administrator on Facebook, this came up today, and I thought this would be a perfect time to make a video about it. But she is in the UK and I am in the USA, so we're in two different parts of the world with the same exact issue and same exact problem. And that problem being that we were diagnosed and we are still fully functioning people. We're at the beginning stages. We are not in diapers. We're not drilling. We still know our family members. We still make sure there's food on the table. We still make sure there's groceries in the cabinet. We still make sure that everybody gets their baths when they need them. Those kinds of things. We're dealing with the fact that our lives are changing, and not for the better, and that we've been given diagnoses that is changing our outlook completely. And there are no support groups for people like us. And it is, though, once we get a diagnosis, we disappear, and it becomes all about how this affects everybody else in our lives. And granted, it does, but there's support for them. There's support for the people that know me, but there's none for me. And that doesn't make any sense at all to me. Why is there a cone in the middle of the road right now? Something's going on with construction, and I'm not sure what's going on here. It's weird. It's green cones. I've never seen green cones. Oh, wet paint. They painted the lines. Now we're driving on the lines. Okay. Well, here I am driving on the white line because I was avoiding the cones in the middle. We'll see if I edit this out or not. Anyhow, meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's no reason for us to not have support. We're dealing with life-changing. If we had cancer, is there not support groups for people with cancer? Are there not support groups with people with mental illnesses? Aren't there support groups for people with brain damage? There's support groups for nearly everything in the world. There's support. If I drank too much, there'd be support groups. If I took drugs, there'd be support groups. But because I got a dementia diagnosis, I don't get a support group. I'm just forgotten. Well, we don't have anything for you. There's nothing for you. And I'm going to talk to the lady about that today because I want to start one. You know, if nothing else, I'll start one and then they can facilitate it. I don't care how you do it. There's got to be people that need it. And they don't want me to go to the activities one because they don't want me driving to it. My license has not been taken. In fact, right now, it's not even, my dementia is not even bad enough that it's even a consideration at this point. So, you know, so I can't even go to an activities with other people like me because I'm not bad enough. So, I'm not bad enough to go hang out and build sleighs for Christmas cards with people like me because I don't have a caregiver to drive me. They're thinking about changing that up a little bit. Turns out I have a psychotherapy appointment tomorrow. I feel like a psycho every now and then. Whatever it's called. I have a therapy appointment, the talk therapy. And right now, that is the only thing I have that even resembles a support group. And so I don't want to miss that. So I got 14 miles before I have to do anything else. So the GPS should stop talking to you for a little while. But, you know, for crying out loud, I'm not going to cancel my therapy appointment to go make a sleigh or whatever it's called, sleigh, to put Christmas cards in because I need to talk about how this is changing my life and how what I want to do. You know, like I did talk to my POA today and told her that I'm ready to do bucket list things, and she agreed that was probably okay, good idea. And she laughed at my wanting to go to Australia to watch the train go backwards, but that's neither here nor there. I got to get a passport. That one's not really high on my list. I could die happy and not actually get there. But we talked about the goats, and so she was telling me, well, you tell me what things I needed to keep the goats and how to get who to get in contact with that would know how to get goats. So I think we're gonna do goats. I don't know. It's really warm now, so right now I'm all gung ho. When it turns cold, I'm not gonna want to. So maybe that would be good for the springtime and give me a chance to get some things in order. But the real purpose of this today is, why are there no support groups for people with dementia that are diagnosed? We don't, it's almost like, okay, you're going along, and have a little bit of memory loss, can't remember to turn the stove off, so somebody else got to be there, okay, but okay, now you have the trouble remembering to take your medicine all the time. So you have mild cognitive impairment. No big deal, because sometimes it progresses, sometimes it doesn't. And you might still be able to work, you might still be able to do everything that you did before. So don't sweat it. It's mild cognitive impairment. Blah 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 blah. Okay. It has slipped into dementia. All of a sudden, my gosh, since they put that label on there, I now wear diapers, I now drool, I'm no longer vocal, I need 24-hour care, I don't know if somebody's talking to me, I can't finish a conversation, I can't talk to anybody because I don't know any of my words, I don't recognize anybody. Baloney. That is baloney. And I'm coming real close to swearing on this channel, and I'm trying not to. That is a bunch of BS, because you don't how can one day and one doctor putting a label on it does not, it was no different the day before, that day, and the day after. It wasn't like they cut off my head when they gave me the diagnosis. I felt like I got hit in the face with a 2x4, granted, but it wasn't automatic. Just because they stamp that on your forehead doesn't mean all of a sudden you're a drooling idiot. We still have feelings, we still know people, we still have responsibilities, we still do things, and we want a support group so we can talk to other people that are going through the same thing that we're going through, and nobody seems to think that this is important. Now, not the Alzheimer's National Association doesn't seem to think that this is important. They don't have groups. This group up here, the Northern Indiana Alzheimer's Dementia Society, doesn't have groups for people with it. They just have activities. Come on, give me a break. It could be years before I get bad enough that I don't know what's going on. How come I can't process this with anybody or with other people with the same disorder that I have? Is there a reason? All we find are virtual support groups. There's one on the internet. The lady from the UK is talking about the one on the internet. I haven't gotten the website yet. It's just because I haven't called to ask for it, to get on that same virtual support group. But that's not the same thing as having people. And I know that I cannot be the only one in my town that has got this. And I don't know how to find these people. I don't know what the trick is. I don't know how you advertise it, because I don't want everybody on my Facebook to know that I've been diagnosed with it. But at the same time, that's the only way I know to get on there and ask people if they know anybody with dementia or Alzheimer's in the early stages that would like to have a support group. And good grief, you know what? I'll get a room at the library and I'll facilitate it, because apparently nobody else seems to think this is important. And I don't know, I know nothing about facilitating support groups, but for heaven's sakes, at least we could talk to each other without everybody getting all wigged out and having to it's just crazy. It to me, it is shameful. It is actually shameful that these societies that are supposed to be supporting us, and they do, you know, I call them, they're supportive on the phone. That's not the same thing as going and meeting people and talking to people that have the same issues. Why are there not support groups for people that are diagnosed with dementia that still function as productive members of society? You know, I get that if you're bedridden and you're nonverbal and you don't know who anybody is or what day it is, or, you know, it's a new day, it's day one every day, Groundhog Day, yes, that maybe a support group is not for you. But for those of us that are just now getting diagnosed and just now crossing the line over into dementia, we would get a lot out of it. Not to mention that the people that, if people that ran these organizations would facilitate these groups, they would learn so much about what it's like and what's going on that they could service their people, their clients, so much better. It would be to their benefit to have these groups. Otherwise, they just have a bunch of people that they don't know, have any idea what's going through their head. And I may just show this video to that woman, I don't know. But it's just so aggravating to me that we don't have any place to go. And we don't have anything that we can access. So, with that being said, I can't upload over 15 minutes, and so I'm going to cut you off and say, live life to the fullest. Make sure that you live life with no regrets, and we will see you later. Goodbye.